命に逆らった自分は正しかったはずだ。
Hey, what's happening everyone? SirJames coming at you guys with another video. In today's video, I'm here to provide you with my review for the Yakuza Kiwami. If I mispronounced that, I do apologize. I am unfamiliar with how the title is pronounced. But as far as the game series go, I believe this is the first installment, because I know there's many of the titles in general. But this one right here, this one was first released back in 2005 on the PlayStation 2 and has been brought back, especially for those of us who happened to miss out during that time. Now, this game is not considered an HD remastered or an uprising from a PlayStation 2 era. This game has basically been recreated from the ground up exclusively for the PlayStation 4, which means every visual element is optimized in 1080 60 frames per second environment. Every line of script was re-recorded by a series of actors, and for the first time in the West, gamers will actually be able to hear the original Japanese language track. And of course, there's also the game itself, where you have the PS2 era brawling gameplay and refined for the current gen, with Kiwami trying to fight his way through the ranks of the Yakuza, and of course to try to find a missing girl in which he's trying to protect, and of course with some missing money as well. But let's go ahead and jump into the visual elements. Now, going over the visuals, if you've ever played the Yakuza 0 that came out at the beginning of the year for the PlayStation 4, it seems to be using the same graphical engine there, but just in case you kind of missed out on it, I will have to say is that the graphics are especially amazing looking, because the details of the characters and of course the environments in which you will be in, especially when you're on the busy streets and you're seeing all these LEDs, rain effects, sound effects even taken into place, just every nook of detail is just quite awesome to look at, to one of those points you just kind of want to visit locations like that. But again, I was definitely impressed with how the visual aspect of the game looked, and if you are fans of this particular series, then you will not be disappointed whatsoever. Now, going over the gameplay elements here is actually pretty simple, to be honest. Now, in this game, it's actually going to start off pretty slow because it's kind of building up to the whole plot of this game. But once you get to that point in time, that's when the game starts to open up, where the story unfolds, which is an amazing story, by the way. And of course, you're going to be doing a little bit of fetch questing here and there, especially around the beginning, where you're kind of going back and forth between one particular area. That did get a little bit annoying, but where the game truly shines besides its story element is of course the combat. The combat in this game is quite brutal, to the point where you could honestly feel every impact of punch and kicks that you land on every single person that comes in your way. And to be honest, with anyone that gets in your way of your main character, you just kind of feel sorry for them, because you know that they are not going to walk away after you are done with them. What I like about the combat too is the fact that you could also switch between a variety of different fighting stance to take on your opponents head on. Sometimes you're going to be facing a group of enemies where one person may wield a weapon of some time or is quick on their feet, but the fact that you could change your fighting stance to kind of correspond with that opponent definitely makes things interesting. And of course, what I like about it too is the fact that you could often build up the meter and to do some quite brutal finishing moves. I mean, if you thought the combat was brutal, the finishing moves kind of tops it up even more. But again, the combat system in this game was definitely great, fluid, definitely didn't have any issues, but like I said, there is going to be a little bit of fetch questing kind of going back and forth, but it definitely helps pass the pace along, especially when you correspond the storyline. But again, just everything about it gameplay wise is rock solid, and if you're fans from the previous installments, then you are definitely going to feel right at home for this one. Now, going over the replay value and of course my final score, it's pretty much broken down like this. As far as replay value goes, it was definitely moderate replay value. For one, if you are a trophy collector, there are going to be plenty of trophies for you to go after. The story is interesting enough to the point where I'll definitely opt out to another replay value. And of course the combat is always fun and addictive. There are some slight issues that I did run into the game. For one, I wish there was kind of more features, but again, it's kind of understandable because this is a game that was basically brought back from something in 2005, so I can't ask for too much. However, also I did notice, and again, it could be because of my early review copy, but I did notice some slowdowns here and there with the frame rate kind of dropping back and forth here and there, but that could easily be fixed with a simple little update and whatnot, just a quick patch. But again, overall, it's definitely a fun game. If you're fans of the series, then this is something that you definitely want to add to your collection. And on top of that, this game is only $30, so very inexpensive. and it's basically priced correctly. But overall, in the end, I'm going to be giving this game an 8 out of 10. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below, and always remember, Gamerfuzion empowers your gaming.